Well, hi guys, I'm Gareth. Welcome back to my channel, Dark Sky Photography, and you find me yet again at my favourite place on Anglesey, Woolly Island. Yeah, we're at South Lighthouse with Elin's tower behind me in the background. And as you saw my quick panel earlier, the weather's looking mighty fine on this September day, and as high has moved into the country and is forecast to give pretty good weather the rest of the week. And I'm hoping to do some astro as well this evening, so I'm not going to let a good sunset pass me by though. It's just looking really cool at the lighthouse behind me. And so yeah, I have set up my camera already to do a bit of a sunset for you guys, and then I'm going to scout a couple of locations to do some astro and try and capture the Milky Way. The Milky Way is still out there of course, and the core is disappearing fast. By the end of this month we won't see the core till next year, so I want to try and grab a bit of that Milky Way before it disappears. And so I'll be looking at some compositions involving the lighthouse of course, Elin's tower, and maybe up at the lookout on the cliffs which are behind me, and let's see what nice images I can get for you this evening. So let's go for a wander. We'll leave this camera time-lapsing behind me, and we'll see what I can find to make a good image. But these clouds look wonderful. I love these soft, small, slowly drifting clouds in our sky. Adds a beautiful interest to a time-lapse. And I think I'll have to do a wide field one as well. I've got the 50mm lens on the lighthouse behind me, but I think I'll use a 14mm on the other camera. So yeah, keep with me guys, and hopefully welcome back to astrophotography after a long hiatus because of our somewhat disappointing weather of late, but it looks good tonight. Okay, let's carry on. So hi guys, I've just moved up the pathway a bit, so I'm at the top car park. I've just been checking out composition of my 24mm Rokinon and Canon 6D camera, and I'll show you a shot of Elin's tower, which is down ahead of me. And so I'm going to go for a walk down the path, but I think I found one composition. I think you'll get the idea. I'll just turn around as I'm walking down. Yeah, so I think we'll get little Elin's tower on there, and the Milky Way will just be that way, which would be to the right of the tower. So the Milky Way is going to be vertical tonight, and so yeah, we'll do maybe 3 panels to get a bit of a horizon on, and to get a bit of a foreground on, and to get lots of sky, and see how that works out. But I'm still just really scouting for compositions at the moment. And so I'll walk down now to the bottom and see what else I can get. I'll get a bit closer, get more detail in the foreground, try and find some more leading lines other than the path behind me. And we've got a nice leading horizon line there from the range behind me as well. That might be useful in the composition. And so yeah, more thinking about rule of thirds and balance. And so yeah, let's head down the bottom there and see what other compositions I can find. Here we are, a bit closer to Elin's tower. The Milky Way be rising, yeah, right above where those clouds are. So this will be a good composition. Behind me we've got the lighthouse. I'll hypnotise you with some video of the beams later, shall I? It's going to be real beautiful. Keep on going round, and you'll see the RSPP centre coming up. There it is. We might see the plough constellation above that as well. Might be worth a shot. There's a path leading up to the RSPP centre, where it's also a really good cafe. Fantastic cakes. Worth a visit if you ever pop down here to recharge from the elements you often get in this part of the world, which is usually wind and rain, but tonight we're spared all of that. There is cloud forecast for later. Hopefully I would have got the Milky Way before that happens. And so I'm going to go back and get my other camera now because the sun has set and the time-lapse would have finished. And so don't leave my gear too unattended for too long, for it is at the bottom of the cliff. So good luck to anyone who wants to climb down there, but not safe when it's dark. So I'm going to go and get my gear now, and I want to reposition to another location to get, yeah, that lighthouse behind me. Ooh. I want to get that with Milky Way going behind it. So Elin's Tower and South Stack Milky Way is on the cards tonight, hopefully. All right, let's get my gear. Okay, so the clouds have come in very rapidly and cut short my night of astrophotography. I managed to get some 50mm shots of the horizon and sky. There's a lot cloudier than those shots. Not too sure how much Milky Way I got till I get home and process the images. I've done a foreground shot of Elin's Tower, which is behind me, and yeah, okay, we'll see how that blends with the Milky Way shots, and that's about it really. So I've got some time lapses, and I got Elin's Tower, and I'll blend the Milky Way such as what I've got in the sky behind it. Hopefully it might come out not too bad. Ferry going to Ireland. Yay! The lookout is behind me. I'm going to head up there, see where the Milky Way is coming from. Okay, so I've just been up to a lookout. There's a good composition up there. I did a little shot of photo pills, and we can see the Milky Way. The Milky Way, not behind me yet, but on the phone, it's projected the Milky Way nicely over the lookout tower. And I think I can get the lighthouse in the picture as well. And so, yeah, that's a composition I'll go for later. It's getting nice and dark now. You can see the ferry's going to Ireland. Some stars starting to pop out, the bright ones, and so let's go find another place where I can get a nice shot of a night sky with a bit of foreground in the two as well, of course. All right, let's carry on. Okay, so we've got some a nice stone path leading down to Elin's Tower behind us, and I think we can use part of that path as a leading line to the crenellated Fossa tower behind us, and so yeah, I think this is another decent location to do an astro shoot of the Milky Way. I already captured on photo pills earlier, so I know the location where it's going to rise behind that RSPP sensor. That's what it's used for. And so yeah, I'll move further a bit closer to Elin's tower, and I'll frame up with a 24mm and see how the rule of thirds apply in this instance. So rule of thirds, you want to get the interest on the intersections of the thirds. So the top third, the middle third, the side thirds, bang in the middle, and we'll try and see how the horizon looks. I think I just want Elin's tower just to break the horizon, just to draw our attention to it, and the Milky Way directly above, or maybe to the side. All depends on the sort of composition that looks nice to me. So I'll go down a bit closer, and then there's one other place I want to go to. I want to do a time lapse, and it's down at the bottom of a cliff by the lighthouse. So it's dark enough, near enough now for me to set up a time lapse, and then I'm going to come up and start doing some foreground shots and wait for the Milky Way, and then take that on as well. Hopefully the clouds and horizon will clear a bit, and we might see the core, because if the core we want to check out, it's going to disappear by the end of this month, and so this is one of the last opportunities I'll have to see the Milky Way core. So I'd like to try and grab it tonight if I can. I'm not sure if there'll be any other clear nights this week, and so yeah, that'll be a major aim for this evening. Let's go down a bit closer and see what sort of framing I can get on this tower behind us. Yeah, I think that'll do. We'll have that shot later. Whoa, a bit precarious down here. But this is quite a good spot. This is quite a good spot for the 14mm wide angle to include the lighthouse, that telegraph pole, and the Milky Way that should arise in the telegraph pole direction. So I'm going to set up and time lapse here. Spread out the legs for stability, I think. I need to be quite quick because I haven't got much time before I want to get ready with my other cameras to do that Milky Way as it arises. Intervalometer, we'll put these on. And I think we'll do with 14mm lens. Yeah, we'll go for 30 seconds because we're not tracking. Rule of 500. Yeah, so 40mm lens, I should get easy 25 seconds. And so I'll do 25 seconds. Interval 3 seconds, so we can do a few of these. Catch the light beams as well, going round maybe, if we're not blown out by the exposure. And we'll take as many as we can. Okay, so intervalometer set. Bulb setting, please. f2.8 wide open. Here we go. ISO 1600, might be too much. Whoa, the stars are all coming out. So I'm just going to grab a star. We use those bright marks on the horizon, I think. That'll be good enough for focusing. There we are. Okay. Stars focused. Bit of a lighthouse on there. How's my level? Level's good. Okay. Let's start. So starting the intervalometer, we started the sequence. I don't mind if the first image is slightly blown, if the histogram is a bit to the right, because there's a bit more darkness to be had yet. I'll check the first image, and then if I'm happy with it, we'll skedaddle to a Milky Way location to get the sky shots. Need to prepare for those. What do we have? It's pretty nice. We can actually angle up a little bit. There we go. Woo! Right, let's go to Milky Way. Just setting up, got two cameras. 24mm Rokinon, Canon R6. Going to do rapid fire sequence of shots and I'll stack them. This one I'm going to track. I'm going to aim at Polaris, and so we'll get properly polar aligned. The Milky Way is starting to rise, so I need to crack on. Okay, let's get my little laser pointer. Time is of the essence. There's Polaris. Let's aim at Polaris. You know, that's cool. Bang on. Okay, let's lock down. I got a leveling head, so I already leveled it. Alright, now we'll attach the camera, which is my trusty Canon 6D, and I'm using the 50mm Sigma art lens. And so, tracking, I'll step down to f2. I still want it quite wide open. Now the tricky bit is just to secure it, and looks like we're doing landscape. Because I didn't bring my L bracket. No matter. We just want to level the platform first. So with 50mm in landscape, it's not a problem. But just be careful for multi-row. I've only got half an hour and the Milky Way core will disappear. Come on. I will secure that in place with my handy little utility photographer tool. Lots of little Allen keys and stuff on it. Okay, so slight adjustment. Time is tick-tock, tick-tock. Not the app, the Milky Way. Okay, let's find the star. Switch you on. We want this bulb setting, of course. Bulb setting, f4.5. Now drop it down to 2, ISO 800. The white balance, I'm actually going to do custom 400. 4000, I should say. Okay, right. So I'm on my clicker. 15-degree click interval. Make sure I get good overlap for stitching in post later. Let's find a star. We'll angle up. There's a star. Get it in focus. There. Okay, we're ready to go. Do a time check. 21:01. Check photo pills. Visible in 11 minutes. I think I might do some test shots, eh? I've got time for that. Yes. It's a bit breezy. We'll go 45 seconds on the tracker. ISO 800 f2 50mm Sigma R on the Canon 6D Astro modified lens. And we'll see what we get of a Milky Way. And what's really important, switch for move, shoot, move on. Now! Yeah, we're getting the compositions in. For the foreground, I'm using 45 to 1 minute exposures at ISO 1600 f2.8 on the Canon R6. And I sometimes use a little bit of a low light to help fill in the foreground. The sky shots I've been, of course, using on the tracked move, shoot, move. Longer exposures, again 45 seconds on the 50mm lens, but mainly I've been doing non-tracked 24mm shots, about 13 to 20 seconds on the 24mm lens, and they seem to be coming out quite nice, but they're not astro modified, but I don't mind. I still quite like the natural sky colours of the Milky Way, and often interspersed with streaks of cloud to make it quite interesting, quite dynamic scene to go over foreground. So yeah, after Elin's tower, I'm just going to head up to the top, and yeah, I fancy a selfie coming along, you know. I haven't done a selfie yet. And then we'll soon wrap up, I reckon. But got to show you a bit of a Milky Way here. It's lovely and nicely sheltered from the wind down the path here to Elin's tower. Check this out. Yes, Milky Way time. At long last, so nice to see it. Beautiful. It's on the camera. And the 50mm working pretty cool. Happy days. We're getting the last of the Milky Way Core. Wow. Both cameras are capturing it pretty nicely. And so at last we've got some sky shots to go over foreground images. May have some good compositions coming up. Yeah, fantastic. We'll try and get all the summer triangle on. The 3-star asterism, Deneb, Vega, Altair. Yeah, got Deneb on here, and so I'll do a few shots, at least 12 to stack, and then the dark frames to try and reduce some of the thermal noise on the camera. Get a nice cleaner image. Yeah, we won't have long. Oh, I don't know, I might have caught a little fireball on that last shot. What I'm doing is basically vertiramas, because the Milky Way is more vertical, so I'm not chasing the arch of the Milky Way. I don't have to pan across the landscape, but rather go up into the night sky to capture more of the Milky Way. So vertiramas is the name of the game this evening. No big arcs, which is just as well, because I didn't bring the L bracket. everything in landscape. But that's good enough, it'll work. Right, I'll concentrate on doing the rest of the night shots, and then I'll need to think about the foreground compositions again. Make sure I've got all the shots I want. Brilliant. My little friend, it's a puffin. A wooden sculpture of a puffin common around these parts in the cliffs of Anglesey at South Stack. Nice to have a little friend tonight. And so the clouds have come over now, and so I'm just packing away my sky shot stuff, and I'm going to retrieve my time lapse from the lighthouse on the cliff there, see how that went. And then we'll just finish off on some foreground shots just to make sure I got everything I wanted this evening. And yeah, I'm hopeful that I got the Milky Way Core. I'll find out when I process them later on the computer. Alright, little friend, see you later. Well, that was a bit sketchy, but yeah, let's hope it was worth it. Right, I've got another composition location to head to, and then I think would have been nearly done, I reckon, with the angles I wanted to get with the Milky Way in the foreground on this evening. So let's just hope the sky shots come out decent. Right, next location. Yeah, had to do the obligatory selfie shot there, didn't I? Had to be done. Have a look out above South Stack Lighthouse. So quite a nice composition. I'll try and get the light beams more defined. I'll use high ISO and a shorter shutter speed to try and make them more pronounced, as well as the bulb and the light building on the island below. And so yeah, I'll balance the shot with the Milky Way above, the lookout behind me as well. So I think, yeah, it should come out quite nice. Okay, let's move to the next composition. So as you can see there, walking up a path from a lighthouse, there's a good leading line leading down to the subject matter, which is South Stack Lighthouse. And I'm checking the photo pills, and I can get the Milky Way to the left of it. And so, yeah, the lighthouse, the leading line, the sea, and the Milky Way setting in the horizon, I think we can get a good composition here. And so, yeah, this will be a nice one to have. So I'm going to do the foreground with my 24mm Rokinon lens. I'll do maybe 45 to 60-second exposure, f maybe 4, just to try and get more of the foreground detail in sharp relief. And I'll probably do a 2-image panorama for foreground, maybe 2 landscapes, just to make sure I can get the Milky Way in. So I'll do quite a wide field here, And when I do the lighthouse, I'll have to be careful on the beams. I think I'll have to do a shorter exposure, talking about 4 seconds instead of 45 seconds, and that means I've got to pump up the ISO. But I want to capture those light beams in nice defined triangular lasers, as it were, coming out of the light bulb. And so I want to get definition of those light beams, and that will complement the composition nicely. So it's going to be a good shot. So yeah, I'll use high ISO to get a shorter exposure, and then I'll blend it into a longer exposure, and then I'll drop the sky shot on top of it as well, and that should make for something decent, I hope. Okay guys, I've done all the compositions I wanted to do this evening. So I've got my foregrounds, I've got my sky shots. Hopefully the clouds didn't interfere too much with the Milky Way. I reckon I got the core, so I'm really optimistic that I might be all right here. And so I'm going to finish off, head home and process all of the images and get them sorted for the vlog for you to enjoy. I'll put them on the screen shortly. And so yeah, it was a night of the Canon 6D and the Canon R6 doing mainly the foreground, and the 6DA, the Ashramalvev, doing the night sky. We used a 50mm lens and a 24mm lens, and we did essential vertiramas. And so we did a few areas of foreground interest: Elin's Tower, the South Stack Lighthouse. You can still see the pool behind me. And yeah, some quite decent compositions, I hope. And so I hope you enjoyed what I've done this evening. If you do, just give me the thumbs up, yeah? And subscribe if you want. I've not done a vlog for a little while because it's been quite difficult with the poor weather we've had over the past couple of months. But so I'm just a bit rusty perhaps, and I'll hopefully get into a more practice of doing vlogs. And if I get the weather nice, then I can have more practice doing that. And so, hey, I enjoy coming out to the night sky. It's been a beautiful night. It's good for my soul. And, you know, in these tourist magnets, which is South Stack, there's not many people at night here. You've got a place to yourself. Another reason why I like doing nighttime astrophotography. It's just you and the beautiful scenic night scenes. Just you, most of the time. And so that's what I enjoy. Right, till the next vlog, take care if you go out, and enjoy the night sky too, like I do. Okay, make the most of it when you see the stars. So if my images and time-lapse are any good, I'll put them on now for you. Till the next vlog, you take care all. Bye.